everyone, and welcome to the 19th Annual Turnaround Achievement Award Ceremony, and a very special welcome to those of you who grace a seat in our audience year after year. My name is Rose Arsenault, and it is just a pleasure and honor for me to be your host again this year. And I do want to get things started, so please put your hands together and help me welcome our Turnaround Achievement Award recipients for 2013. Anglophone School District West is pleased to nominate Rona Goche as the recipient of the Kingswood Turnaround Achievement Educator Award.
Thank you very much, everyone. It is a real bonus to be awarded for doing something that you love, and I will be brief. I attribute my success with students to two basic beliefs, and I think probably most people that are educators in this room have the same beliefs. First is that students don't really care what you know until they know that you care. And secondly, that being a teenager is very tough, very, very, very tough. And that teenagers need help, guidance, mentorship, and leadership to navigate through the teen years. I have many thanks to give. I'd like to thank Brian Johnson and Kingswood for this special honor, to my colleagues in former District 17, and especially to Wendy Robichaud for nominating me. And I have two families that I need to thank. To my staff family at Minto Memorial High School, thank you all for your continued support, caring, dedication, and understanding of students. It's easy to help students when you work with a great team. And lastly, and most importantly, to my own family who are here with me this evening, the most important people in my life, I owe them the biggest thanks. Being a teacher is a 24/7 commitment, and so being married to a teacher and having a mom who is a teacher comes at a bit of a price. So to my loving husband, Tracy, and my fantastic children, Rachel and Clark, I want to say thank you. This is the only time ever in my life I've been publicly able to thank my family, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity. So thank you for your love, support, and understanding. I'd like to congratulate Rob Doucette, who I've known for many years through volleyball circuits, on receiving this award alongside me. And a huge congratulations goes out to the real people we honor today, and that's the students. You should all be very proud of yourself. It's taken a lot of hard work and courage for you to complete your turnaround and be honored here tonight. Thank you very much, everyone.
And I would ask David McTimity, again, Superintendent of Anglophone School District West, to come forward and present the next award to, we heard his name mentioned already, Rob Doucette of Bliss Carman Middle School.
I'd like to thank the Kingswood family for bringing this here tonight, and special recognition to everybody. I'm just so humbled and so blessed and so grateful for having the opportunity to teach. I'd like to thank my staff, and especially Mr. Hamilton, my administration, for acknowledging me for this award. To my family, always number one. And finally, all I can say is when I wake up every morning and swing my legs over the bed, and believe me, they're a little creaky and sore now, I think to myself, wow, I get to go to the greatest job in the world. And I can't wait to get there. And the recognition for me, as wonderful as this is to see the smile and the joy on my students when I see them every morning and when I high-five them when they go at night. Thank you very much.
And we begin with Courtney Sullivan, one of last year's Turnaround Achievement Award recipients, who will address this year's recipients. Courtney.
Unfortunately, Courtney called me this morning. I'm Gary DiPaolo. Courtney called me this morning and said she was really going to try to make it to the event, but she had some family issues. So she said that if she didn't make it, she wanted to say a few things to the students. She wanted, first of all, to congratulate all of the turnaround recipients tonight. And she wanted to tell them to look forward to good things happening in their life. Courtney is, with the money that she got from last year's scholarship, and she was a recipient of the Central Retired Teachers Award, $500. She's enrolling this year at community college. She took a year to raise some money, and she's enrolling at community college to follow the LPN course. So she just wanted to have all the recipients use this as a springboard. So On Courtney's behalf, congratulations to all the students.
We will now begin the presentation of our 2013 Turnaround Achievement Awards.
My name is Kenda Bryant. As you just said, I'm Chipman Forest Avenue Vice Principal and Brooklyn's English teacher. Honored guests and guests of honor, I would like to take this time to fix the mic. Sorry. I would like to take this time to introduce to you a wonderful young lady who has finally bloomed into the beautiful flower that we always knew she could be. She just could not see what her teachers could see. Feisty Brooklyn Gable, with her hyphenated name, to Chipman Forest Avenue in 2010 she came. Her mode of survival came by way of negative attack, and I assure you of an opinion she never did lack. When it came to drama, Brooklyn was really quite fluent. That's when she was in school and not being truant. Somewhere along the way, where she came to the realization her negative behavior built a negative reputation. She realized that her attitude just hurt her in the end, and she worked to be happy and positive vibes to send. When asked about the award and why she should win, Brooklyn responded with her shy little grin. "I guess it's my attitude," she said, and put my negativity to bed. What kind of flower do we see she's become? One full of empathy to all and not just to some. Homecoming queen, she was voted for all her good deeds. And her prom date, she's asked, a boy with special needs. In oratorical, she's won at school, regionals, and provincially. She has even traveled to Newfoundland to compete nationally. Brooklyn has taken her energies and applied them oh so well. She's more than an oratorical champion, and my heart, it does swell, with pride and a knowledge that Brooklyn will go far, because, my friend, in our books, she's already a star.
Wow.
Well, I don't know how I can beat that. That was pretty good. Like you guys know, my name's Brooklyn. I move a lot, so it gets really difficult sometimes. But honestly, I wouldn't really be able to do anything without my mom, because she's like little notes on the counter every morning, just everything just to make me happy. And I have to thank my principal, Mr. Nash, and Mr. Northrup, and Ms. Bryant, of course, for pushing me to do my best. And I also want to thank someone who's not here tonight. His name is Bernie Sisk. He has been my oratorical coach for 3 years now, and I probably would have no confidence in myself at all without him. So thank you, Bernie Sisk, and thank you, everyone else.
All right, Jessica, it's your turn. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jessica Allen with Bliss Carman, and here to present her award to her is Peter Manson.
Good evening. I'm Peter Manson from Bliss Carman Middle School, and it's my pleasure to introduce Jessica Allen. I met Jessica fairly recently at the beginning of January when I started teaching her homeroom class. When I found out Jessica would be receiving this year's Turnaround Award, I was thrilled. I asked Jessica's grade 6 teachers how she was as a student during her first year at Bliss Carman. When I mentioned Jessica's name, I received a few comments such as, "Who? Oh yeah, I remember her." Well, it turns out that Jessica started off at Bliss Carman as a very shy and reserved student. She remained introverted around most of her teachers and peers and generally kept a low profile. I'm not 100% sure what happened to grade 6 Jessica or exactly when she changed. However, she has done just that. She's changed. Now in grade 8, Jessica is funny, confident, artistic, and extremely bright. She's brought up all of her grades to A and A pluses and socializes and works well with all of her homeroom peers and no longer hesitates to offer her always interesting and always original opinions. Jessica has also made an effort to help out her fellow peers whenever possible. In class, Jessica will proofread a friend's paper, and in our school, she regularly participates in Bliss Carman's Best Buddy program. Here, she offers her time and energy at lunch hour to help those students in need of a positive and kind spirit like Jessica's. I've enjoyed Jessica's sense of humor, her optimistic and respectful attitude, and her contributions to both my classroom and to our school. I feel privileged to teach the grade 8 student that she has become. Jessica richly deserves this award.
Good evening. It was a little over a year and a half ago that I first had the pleasure of meeting Logan. As an educational assistant in grade 7 math, I was used to knowing and helping almost every student in the wing, but there was something very different about Logan. I barely recognized or knew him at all. After confirming that he was indeed not a transfer student, I decided I would offer my assistance to make up for all of his absenteeism. I found out very quickly that Logan was not interested in my help or school in general. As time passed, I continued to make my rounds in class, asking if there was anything I could do for him, until one day when he finally decided he wouldn't mind if I helped him out just a bit. As big of a change as I thought this was, no one could have known the turn his life was about to take. When most people go through a personal tragedy, they have a tendency to shut down and turn their back on life, as life seemed to do to them. Only the strongest and the most determined of people see this not as an end, but as a beginning of something new, a chance to redefine themselves and a chance to make their future what they want it to be. And Logan did just that. As our bond deepened and grew over time, so did my appreciation for the obstacles Logan overcame. Logan, even though you've often told me I was like a mentor to you, you've shown me more about life and hope than you'll ever know. And I know if your parents were here today, they would be so proud of you and the young man you've become, just as I am. And I'm honored that you've asked me to be here tonight to present you with this award.
My friend just had a tumble here. I'd just like to say thank you, and I'm really grateful that I have got this award. That's about it.
Hello. As mentioned before, I'm Nathan Langell. I'm one of the vice principals at Fredericton High School, and I'm here today on behalf of FHS to introduce Dylan Ross and Alyssa Rock as two of our Turnaround Achievement Award winners. Mr. Michael Barrett, the vice principal for Dylan and Alyssa, could not be here tonight, but he is the instigator of the nominations of Alyssa and Dylan. With that said, all of the administrators at FHS strongly supported these two nominations, as did many of their teachers who have taught them previously and currently. You may be asking yourself why all of the administrators feel so strongly about these two nominations. Well, I could read you their bio that's printed in the bulletin, which indicates some of the poor choices and struggles they've had, but I would like to personalize this to my earliest introduction to Dylan and Alyssa. I had asked Dylan and Alyssa to visit me yesterday to discuss what I wanted to talk about. So I asked them, do you remember our first true introduction? And to give you some background, I had just started at FHS in September 2010, and I had heard of their names. As all administrators know, they're just some names you're familiar with, and even though they're not your responsibility. However, I never really had met them. So when I asked the question to them yesterday, Alyssa quickly responded with, yes, I know, the dance. And on a side note, it's kind of scary that she remembers this so well, because so I'm thinking to myself, geez, what kind of impression did I leave on her? So I'm not going to go into details about what happened at the dance, but I'll leave it at wasn't pretty. So this is how I met them, but I don't want to dwell on this. What I'm going to end with is to talk about the positive change. I'm not sure when it happened. Maybe it was around the time of the birth of their beautiful daughter, Desiree, or if it was an evolution that comes out of increased responsibility and awareness of the needs of an education. Mr. Barrett said to me last week that he always saw the potential in Alyssa. And really right now they're fulfilling it. We called Dylan's boss at Empire Theaters, and he had the most glowing report of Dylan. I've talked to some of Alyssa's teachers, and same thing. They have nothing but glowing things to say. I see them as two very well-spoken individuals who truly demonstrate respect. It's the pleasantry in their voice and the smiles on their faces that show me that they are truly happy. We've seen them become two focused individuals who embody the spirit of the Turnaround Achievement Awards. I present to you Dylan Ross and Alyssa Rock.
It is an honor to be nominated for this award, let alone receive it. We are very, very grateful for this award. I feel like it will put us in the right path to our future, and I really, really do appreciate everyone who has come to support us and who has supported us all along. Thank you very much to everyone.
I just want to say thank you, and I want the staff of FHS to be recognized, especially the vice principals. You know, they were there the entire time, and if it wasn't for them, this wouldn't be possible, so thank you guys.
My VP said I should have used a larger font size. I think I'll follow that advice for a change the next time I present. Anyway, dear sponsor and hosts, friends, family members, and especially all recipients, it is a privilege and an honor to speak on behalf of one of the recipients, Miss Lacey Fitzgerald. Our association began 2 years ago when Lacey was assigned to my homeroom. It was not the worst of beginnings, neither was it the best of beginnings. At that time, the proverbial glass was always half empty and the water quite murky. During 2010-2011, Lacey had become well known to senior administrators for a variety of issues, and she overstayed her welcome. Before the first semester had concluded, Lacey had been suspended when several concerns had remained ongoing for too long. As her homeroom advisor the following year, I found Lacey to be polite and pleasant. She had too many outside interests that coincided with the school day. Absenteeism quickly reemerged as an ongoing concern. That was 2011-2012, but this represented a considerable improvement over the previous year. It was the only concern. When I had to address attendance-related issues, Lacey was never confrontational. Her tact was refreshing. She candidly admitted why she was absent, and she never protested when she was assigned to make up the time. She always showed up with a book in hand, which did this English teacher's heart good. Her responses ensured that attendance remained the sole issue. As the semester progressed, however, I noticed something was missing. Reports of missed classes or of whole days. Attendance-related problems had become almost non-existent. The void was replaced with teachers now sharing with me how impressed they were with the quality of the assignments she was submitting by their due dates. The turnaround is remarkable in that a complete reversal in outlook and industry had occurred. Where before Lacey was focused on avoiding learning, she was determined to maximize her opportunities to learn. Where she was avoiding preparing for the future, she was now embracing that future. To say the turnaround has been perfect is not entirely correct, for there's been a rare relapse, but just rare. But relative to where she was a little over a year ago, the motivation to take her learning seriously and to maximize the opportunities Fredericton High School is providing her is all Lacey Fitzgerald's. All of us know when a motivation comes from within a student, most of our job is nearly done, and we can take confidence in the fact such people will become successful. I'm honored to speak on an occasion such as this. At times it can be difficult for both the learner and the educator, And it is tempting for either or both to give up, too often prematurely. But a little faith often goes a long way. In fact, a turnaround often begins with a little faith. When that faith is justified, we're reminded that the rewards make the challenges worthwhile, especially when they once seemed insurmountable. Remember the proverbial glass I alluded to earlier? Lacey's glass is more than half full now, and the water's crystal clear. Thank you, Lacey, for justifying our faith in you.
Good evening, my name is Noella Jung, and I was Kirsten's grade 9 English teacher. Feels like a long time ago, but it was just a few short years ago. As teachers, every time we step into the classroom, we're being given the opportunity to meet such a variety of wonderful young people. And every once in a while, we meet that student who drives us just a little bit crazy, but still really tugs at our heartstrings. In September of 2009, Kirsten Merrill walked into my period 1 grade 9 English class, the first class I would ever teach at FHS. When I met Kirsten, I saw a smart, happy girl, so full of life, but so standing in the way of her own success. Kirsten was very overwhelmed by high school and taken in by how easy it was to spend class time not at a desk, but hopping around Fredericton getting into all kinds of trouble. Honestly, we didn't know how we'd ever get her to stay at school long enough to get through a day, let alone through 4 years. This pattern continued through most of grade 9. Kirsten seemed to care as little about academics as she did about her own well-being. However, something in Kirsten changed with time. Slowly but surely, she got over her attendance issues. She started to care about her schoolwork and herself. Maybe she got tired of the nagging and nagging and nagging, the supporting of her teachers and her family and her friends who were constantly on top of her, telling her what she could be. Maybe she lost a bad influence in her life. Maybe the fun of skipping class lost its attractiveness. But I believe that the real reason for the change in Kirsten is Kirsten herself. The inner strength and beauty that I saw behind those lost eyes almost 4 years ago finally came shining through. Kirsten began attending classes. Kirsten began to study. Kirsten began to think about and care about the bright future that she has ahead of her, and that has made all the difference in the type of student that she is now. The young lady who stands in front of you has become a happy person, a strong student, and a future vet, already enrolled at DAL in pre-veterinary studies. The young lady who stands before you is the embodiment of all that a turnaround award stands for. Kirsten Merrill, you have more than earned this by your own hard work and dedication, and I want to congratulate you.
Firstly, I would just like to say that this is a huge honor, and thank Kingswood for giving me this opportunity to be here today. I would also like to thank people like Noella and the rest of the staff and faculty at FHS who believed in me and got me where I am today. I would like to thank my family and especially thank my mom because I know I haven't made the past 4 years easy for her, but she's always been there for me through it all. I'm just happy that I can stand up here and make her proud today. Thank you.
As you know, the Turnaround Achievements Awards are for children who reflect marked improvements in behavior, attitude, or academics. Michael here has a combination of all three. Just last year, Michael was only able to successfully attend school 15 minutes a day, and with support, he was able to work his way up to half days by the end of the year. Since then, Michael has been on a roll. He has grown and matured into a fine young man. Michael has quickly demonstrated that he is not only a quick learner, but that he is also an intelligent, skilled individual who has a big heart. Everyone that meets Michael immediately falls in love. He has a big heart. As his resource teacher, I can emphasize character features which are important, especially important for not only being a great student, but a productive, contributing member of society. His academic intelligence, and most importantly, his emotional intelligence. We are honored to have such a committed and kind young man at our school. Michael's hard work and commitment to his academic success allows him to be the perfect candidate for this Turnaround Achievement Award. We are so very proud of Michael.
Hi, I'm just really thankful to have this award. It's a great honor, and I really appreciate it. I just want to thank everyone here for coming to see me win this. I want to thank Mrs. Whalen, Ms. Brazell, Mr. Port, my parents, Brandon Liston, my bestest friend, for being so kind to me in school, and everyone else at the school. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It is my pleasure to introduce you to Dana Code. And we are very happy that she has been honored with this award. And I know she's very happy about it. Dana's shy, but Michael was helping us out outside the door. He was telling Dana, don't be nervous. This is a great honor. Everyone's going to clap for you no matter what you say. So, thanks to Michael. Thanks to Michael. He was a wonderful encouragement to us while we were outside. When Dana first arrived at Harold Peterson in grade 6, that was September 2010, Dana was very shy and withdrawn, and she was hesitant to speak with adults or peers, and overall, she wasn't very happy to be at middle school. I think she would maybe have liked to stay at elementary, and Dana didn't like to come to school on time. She usually came between about 9 or 9:30, and when we'd ask Mom about that, Mom would say, well, you know, I'm working on it, and I'm trying to get her to want to come to school on time, but that was difficult in grade 6, and in class when Dana would sometimes need help from an adult, but she was not that willing to accept it at times, and there were days that Dana wouldn't come to school. She missed several days in grade 6. And when we talked to her parents about it and to her mom, she would say, well, you know, something happened at school, and we would try to sort this all out. But Dana was very quiet and didn't always talk about it, so it was difficult sometimes, even with the supports in place, to help Dana with what was going on with her. But we certainly thank the parents for their wonderful support. And we also, of course, want to thank Melinda Sear, who was her homeroom teacher for 2 years. And I know she's been a great influence on Dana. So in grade 7, in the spring, things started to change, and Dana began to feel more comfortable. She looked like she was more comfortable. She started participating in gym, which she hated in grade 6. She started accepting help in class when she needed it, and actually participating in class discussions and presentations, which was a great start for her. This year has been a great year in grade 8. We did start a new program at HP this year, which was a breakfast program. Mrs. Barter started that in the home ec room. And Dana signed up for a volunteer. And I think some of us were thinking, well, how is this going to work? She has difficulty getting on time, but she would also, for this, have to be there at 7:35. But Dana has done so well with that. She started out as a volunteer, and she's faithfully been there every morning as part of that program, which has been very positive for her. Now she communicates regularly with her teachers, especially with Mrs. Sear. She has a great relationship with her, and she often shares personal stories from home with her about her pets or whatever's going on outside. She works hard in class, and she will ask for help and accept help, but she does work very hard independently this year. And her confidence with reading is certainly gone ahead this year, and she really feels comfortable with that, and she seems to enjoy being at school, so it's been a wonderful year for her. So overall, we can say that Dana has blossomed from a shy, withdrawn young girl entering grade 6 into a happy, content teenager who's willing to take risks academically and socially. And so we want to say congratulations to her, and we know she's going to have a great year next year at OHS. We're going to miss her as she goes to grade 9, but we certainly wish her all the best. Congratulations, Dana.
I just want to thank my teachers and my parents, and I'm very pleased to have this reward. Thank you.
The first time I met Marissa was this past fall. We met to discuss course selections, and she came with a plan. I knew right away that she had spent time thinking about her goal because she had alternate plans. The only information I had at the moment were her past academic records, and pairing those with what she wanted to take on for her senior year worried me, but I didn't know Marissa. Marissa's turnaround occurred prior to the beginning of her senior year. I have had the opportunity to watch her soar since then. She has impressed me with her strength, determination, and hard work. One of her teachers, Katie Black, describes her as conscientious, works hard to put out her best work, open to learning new things, has a lot of heart, and a great positive disposition. She says she feels Marissa is realizing the potential in herself, and that is what is so impressive and inspiring to witness. Marissa takes on what she has to do with tenacity. It's like I can hear her say, okay, that's done, now what's next? And if that won't work, what can I do to make it work another way? Marissa works with struggling students at our school as part of her co-op placement. She has made positive connections with those she works with. She is described as kind, patient, and personable. Her positive attitude resonates with those she has contact with. It has been a positive year for you, Marissa, and you should be very proud of your accomplishments. And may the power you hold within yourself continue to be discovered as you strive toward your goals. Congratulations, Marissa.
First off, I would like to thank you, Joelle Glisby and Harvey Hive, for nominating me. Receiving this award has been an amazing experience and something that cannot be easily forgotten. I would like to thank my teachers for all of their support and help throughout my high school years, and I would also like to say thanks to Kingswood for sponsoring this award. I think it is really great and inspirational to many, including myself. Last but not least, I would like to say thank you to my mom for being there and to my boyfriend, who has been an amazing support system for me throughout this year, where I've been working hard to get my marks up in order to graduate on time. It has been a struggle, but it is one I have overcome. My marks are as high as ever, and I look forward to furthering my education next year at UMB. Thank you.
Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs. C'est ma plaisir de vous présenter Felicia Mugford. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to present Felicia Mugford. Ms. Rogers has joined me as Felicia's homeroom teacher since she began at Leo Hayes, so we're going to do this together.
Tag team.
Felicia came to Leo Hayes in 2008 as a teenager deep in the experimental stages of exploring what life had to offer. After many failed trials and experiments, with teachers and her parents picking her up and dusting her off and encouraging her that she was worthy of another way of living, she did not want to believe. Felicia was lost. Mom would cringe when PNB would come up on her phone because she knew it was probably me calling. It wasn't until a specific event occurred while Felicia was out on an adventure experimenting that she broke her arm and made her way to the school and tried to hide the fact that she may have a serious injury. She could no longer deny that something needed to change. All of those who cared about her really meant what they said. This was the turning point that allowed Felicia to be open to receiving the support her family and school had to offer. She started to believe that there was another way to live, and she was worthy of the best of what life had to offer. The true Felicia had been found. Her warmth and her smile now fill the halls of Leo Hayes High School. She has worked hard. She is now in the last 30 days of her last semester in grade 12. She will graduate in June. She will move on to an aesthetic program after graduation, and we wish her the very best of what life has to offer. Ms. Rogers?
4 years ago, a student was added to my grade 9 homeroom class list and my grade 9 English class. It must be something with English classes, I don't know. Needless to say, she was a challenge. Oh, I'm trying to do technology here and it's not working on me. Miss Rogers, make this work. I remember sitting down with her mom at our very first parent-teacher interview. Where's the box of Kleenex? Because we went through one that night. As we lamented and wondered, and what are we going to do with this girl? We didn't know, but somehow along the way, changes happen. Make it move. There we go. I have to say that even though there was that challenge over those 4 years, I have been lucky as a teacher to have Felicia not only in my homeroom, but in my classes. She is an absolutely beautiful person, although sometimes she was like a thorn in your side. But she has gone and blossomed into the most beautiful young woman, and I know that we will be very proud to watch her walk across the stage at graduation in a few short weeks. So like that thorn, they're gone from here, and Felicia has blossomed to a wonderful, and we are so proud of what she has done over the past few years.
When they say that people have picked me up and dusted me off, they're not joking. My mother spent several lunch hours driving to the school, picking me up, and leaving again. And I have to thank everybody that's here with me today. And also, and extend a hand to everybody who's here with somebody or because of somebody here today. Your support to these people, it means a lot, even if they sometimes have trouble saying it. So, thank you very much.
Good evening. It's my privilege to present John Waite to you tonight. 4 years ago, he came to Leo Hayes High School, and I've been his resource teacher for 4 years. 4 years ago, I would never have dreamt that we would be standing here before this illustrious audience tonight. And I'm looking over at Mom, and she's... Anyways, all that to say this, and I'm not going through a litany of what John came from and what he used to be like, but suffice it to say, there has been a dramatic change in this young lad's life. And you know what? The greatest credit goes to him. Right? Anyways, also I want to thank Mom and Dad, because many times when we're working with students, sometimes the greatest thing we have to overcome is the home life. But John's mom and dad have been very supportive of the decisions he's made and have encouraged him to do the right things. Today at noon hour, I was sitting at my desk. I was thinking about tonight because, you know, I mean, this is an awesome occasion. And I was thinking and doing a little bit of work, and all of a sudden, behold, standing at my door was John Waite. And I looked at him. John Waite said, "Mr. Doig, I'm in trouble." I thought, oh no. So he came in. And I'm not going to go through all the gory details, but suffice it to say, he had a verbal altercation with one of the teachers. And he sat down and talked about it and told me everything that he had said, everything that she supposedly said. Anyways, and so I said, well, John, I said, now let's look at some of the things that you did and some of the things that you said, what did you learn, et cetera, because we've been focusing on for the last 4 years, especially the last 2, making good choices, Also reminded him that we all make bad choices from time, but that doesn't define our life. The good choices, however, take us and move us forward. So, after he tells me the story, he said, Mr. Doig, I think I need to go to talk to the vice principal. Whoa, I never, okay, all right. So one of the EAs was handy, and I said, would you mind taking him down to see the vice principal? So he went down and talked to the vice principal, and I say this because this isn't the John Waite that came to us 4 years ago. And this showed qualities that have developed within him, that he would take responsibility for his actions, that he would come and confess them and make amends for them. And not only that, but even to go forward and even talk to the VP. He was back in resource for the afternoon for one period, and he walked by the room, and lo and behold, who was in the classroom but the teacher? The teacher he had had a verbal altercation with. So he recognized her. He said, "Hi," and he walked in, and he apologized. Said what he had said was not the right thing. Said he was sorry, asked for forgiveness. And again, that's indicative of what John has become. A young man who has character, and he's willing to own up to his mistakes. You know, there's some in here probably would have a hard time to do that, but it's part of it, right? I'm looking at politicians. Anyways, suffice it to say, I'm going to be hanging a medal around this character's neck. But you know, for me, the turnaround award tonight is John. He's my turnaround award. And that's what gives me, I guess, to get up in the morning and head to school, realizing some of the challenges that we face. But you know, when I see the kids, I realize that wherever they are or whoever they are, there's hope. There's hope. Change can take place, and they can make something meaningful of their lives. And John is on that journey. He's made some great decisions. And it's a privilege to me to work with people like this, because they make it fulfillment, this teaching profession. So John, I'm going to hang this around your neck, bud. Okay? Congratulations. Thank
you. My name is John. I want to thank two people, really, Mrs. Gill and Mr. Doig. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Amy, and I'm the resource teacher at McAdam High, and I also teach Sam grade 11 English.
My name is Melanie, and I'm a teacher at McAdam High. I teach high school sciences. I taught Sam some French, and right now I'm her yoga instructor. To win a Turnaround Achievement Award, we can think of one word: perseverance. Students must sometimes overcome profound odds to get their lives on track. And Samantha Bigger has done just that. In previous years, Samantha went through difficult family times, but through everything has persevered with a beautiful smile on her face.
Looking into Sam's past, you would see significant stressors with family issues, school attendance issues, and frequent transition from school to school. Sam was a quiet student who was very withdrawn from the world around her, and eventually took herself out of school.
A different story exists today, as Samantha is an outgoing young girl who takes on a whole new appreciation for the life she leads. As indicated by all Samantha's teachers, she is the hardest working student in our school. She is dedicated to making the right choices and living life in a positive manner. Sam is self-motivated and communicates regularly with all of her teachers to ensure that she is on the right track. Even when activities or downtime is offered in the classroom, Sam uses the time to catch up on work or speak with teachers to get extra work. Her smile and attitude adds to positive learning environment, and friendly good morning every day is something all of our staff at McAdam High look forward to.
With information provided by Sam's grandmother, who was also her guardian, Sam used the support she was given by former principal Frances Bennett and staff at McAdam High School, and she ran with it. She embraced the chance she was given to come back and complete grade 10 and has never looked back.
We both currently have the pleasure of having Samantha in our class and could not ask for a better student. Sam recognizes her strengths and weaknesses and works with her teachers to allow for success. Overall, she is a positive role model for all of our students.
So on behalf of McAdam High School, we would like to thank everyone here tonight and to congratulate Sam.
guys, and I want to thank my family and my principals for showing up today, and all of you. I wish all of my teachers were here to see this tonight. I would thank them all for all the encouragement and everything that they've been giving me.
Minto Memorial High School is proud to award our Turnaround Achievement Award to Brandon Van Dorsler. Brandon came to Minto High School 5 years ago, and I think it's fair to say, Brandon, that the first 3.5 years were what we'd say were called rocky, maybe, for Brandon, for his teachers, and for his mom and his family. Brandon, despite having great ability that was recognized by all of his teachers, was disengaged, disinterested in school. And Brandon's behaviors were, I'd say, at the extreme ends of the scale, right, Brandon? You were either defiant, a little disruptive, sometimes disrespectful, or asleep. You like to sleep a little bit in class. There might be a few students in here that can know what that's like. For a long time, we were very worried about Brandon. We knew how much ability he had, but we were afraid that he wouldn't make it through high school, that he would either leave or he'd have to be withdrawn, and we often worried and worked hard with Brandon. However, a big thing happened for him last year. Most of the kids that he had entered high school with were preparing to graduate. And we started to see a real change in Brandon, where he really started to question, what am I going to do here? It was difficult for him to accept that many of his choices had resulted in him being left behind as his friends were moving on. But instead of giving up, Brandon did what we all hoped he would, and he continued on and made a complete turnaround. He is now, we're proud to say, a very hardworking, engaged, conscientious student who has great relationships with his peers and his teachers. He has a part-time job, and we encouraged him all year, and he made the honor roll just this past report card. We're so thrilled that Brandon's made the honor roll. We want to thank Kingswood for the opportunity to honor Brandon, and we want to thank Brandon's family, in particular his mother, for all her patience and support. But most importantly, Brandon, we want to thank you, because we knew you could do it, and we're extremely proud of you, and we encourage you to keep on going, man. Congratulations.
When I first began high school, all I wanted to do was have fun. I was not at all interested in the schoolwork, or even paying attention, or even staying awake. I had never even thought of my future or the consequences of my actions. It occurred to me last year that while all my friends were talking about graduating, that I was going to be left behind. My friends and peers were all moving on in life, and I would still be in high school. I knew I had to make a change if I wanted to move on, because progress waits for no one, especially not a slacker. Thankfully, I received very much support from some truly great people. I want to thank Courtney, my girlfriend of 4 years, for always believing in me and motivating me to better myself. I only wish I would have listened to you sooner. I want to thank the staff of Minto Memorial High School for putting up with my shenanigans, and more importantly, helped me realize that you need to have a plan in life. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank my parents for the love and support they showed me in any situation I got myself into. I am truly grateful. I would not be who I am without you. I love you both very much. Thank you.
Bonsoir. Good evening. It is Stephanie Wilson who sends her regrets. She is ill today and was unable to attend. I am Mary Walton Rossignol, Vice Principal at Nashwaaksis Middle School. Jeremiah Eatman. Jeremiah Eatman came to Nashwaaksis Middle School in grade 6. He, like so many sixth graders, appeared lost and overwhelmed. He was placed in a new, large school where he found himself with a whole lot of new people, and he no longer had only 1 or 2 teachers a day. Jeremiah struggled with some of these new challenges. He also had difficulty making friends and finding his niche. While in grade 6, Jeremiah became one of my regular clients. I'm the vice principal responsible for grades 6 and 7 discipline. While in grade 7, things seemed to improve as Jeremiah would have lengthy, good periods. He was still, however, a frequent flyer at the office. His record shows that he had 14 referrals throughout 2011-2012. Jeremiah also made some very good friends, people with whom he still hangs. So far in grade 8, Jeremiah has only had one blemish. He comes to school smiling, he is attentive in class, he completes his work, he is helpful, respectful, and polite, and he is doing well academically. We at Nashwaaksis Middle School are very proud of Jeremiah Eatman and wish him the best as he moves on to the next chapter in his schooling.
Thank you for the honor for introducing to you one of the Turnaround Achievement Award recipients, Miss Dana Fields. I met Dana 3 years ago as she struggled to get through her grade 9-10 year. Sporadic attendance, low motivation, and little confidence academically and within herself were the characteristics by which she was defined. Troubled with personal and family issues, she could not see any light at the end and started to give up. Many of her teachers saw how they could help change the path that she had determined. With the encouragement of teachers, Dana slowly decided to make changes she needed to be the person she wanted to be, even if the issues impacting her changed little. She had no longer let factors out of her control impact her choices. The new path began. Her story is one riddled with perseverance and raw determination. Dana's attendance improved, and she saw improved grades, which in turn allowed her to gain confidence. With a few bumps in the road, and they were just bumps, we got over them and moved on. Today you see a young girl who only 3 short years ago had few friends, but now this wonderful young lady has a wonderful support group, engaging students around her with confidence, speaking openly in class, and has set future goals. In her home life, she's also caring and giving, also trying to smooth the waters in times of stress. I cannot imagine a better lady to be a nurse by my bedside. This career path is one who is defined by one who is nurturing, dedicated to helping, and compassionate, every quality that Dana is defined by. Today, she is a role model for her younger sister and an inspiration to me as I see how change is possible. Dana, I'm so proud of you and the decisions you have made. I'm honored to be part of this amazing turnaround. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the OHS Blues and future graduate of New Brunswick Community College, Dana Fields.
I'd just really like to thank my family and Miss Thomas Grattan for always being there for me and being an awesome support system.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you Jessica Payne. I first heard of the name Jessica Payne many years ago, although I have not taught her until just this year. And of course, we as teachers know that when you hear a name much before you teach a child, there's usually a reason. Her name often came up in conversation for getting in trouble in classes or having somewhat of an interesting personality. I, in fact, personally had a run-in with her and her friends one day while doing bus duty a couple of years ago, after asking her to follow a school safety rule of not running between the buses, which I thought was a fairly logical request. She chose to tell me exactly where to go and how quickly to go there. This is an event that both she and I will choose to forget. That was thankfully the old Jessica. Let me take a moment to describe the new Jessica. Upon seeing the name Jessica Payne on my class list of Foundations of Math this last semester, I instinctively wondered what I was in for. But like all students, was determined to give her an opportunity to prove herself to me based upon her actions and attitudes, not based upon what I had heard. My impression of and experiences with Jessica have all been extremely positive. Her commitment to working hard and doing well with her studies is impressive. Although having been in a regrouped grade 10 mathematics class, she was able to pull off an 80% in academic level math with me first semester, a feat that in and of itself is very impressive. Her attitude and disposition was and continues to be impeccable. She would smile when entering the room and always greets me politely every day and continues to do so this semester. I can honestly say that she was an absolute pleasure and is a pleasure to have in my class. I am honored to have been a witness to such a transformation and am confident that she will go on to be very successful in the years ahead. In the words of her English teacher, Ms. Kennedy, she has been wonderful to teach and is very committed to doing well. She's very polite and works hard. I've really enjoyed having her in my class. Now, her carpentry teacher, Mr. Clark, has the following words to say about her. Right from the first woodworking class she took, I knew Jessica had tremendous talent. Every project she has done this year has been the top one in the class, and some are now my prototypes for next year. Her precision in cutting and fitting wood joints and her persistence in sanding and finishing is admirable. Jessica can do anything she puts her mind to in life, and I think woodworking is a great career she should consider. It is my belief that Jessica will do very well in life, as I see that she has the motivation and determination to reach her full potential and to become a valuable member of society. Jessica, on behalf of myself, all of your teachers at OHS, congratulations and best of luck as you pursue your future goals.
I don't really have a speech planned, but I'd like to thank my school and my teachers and Mr. Mawini. And a lot of people are thanking their moms, but I'd like to thank mine too for always believing in me and never giving up on me when she really should have. But thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeff Holder. I'm one of the vice principals at Oromocto High School. And it's my pleasure to introduce Michael, but we call him Tyler Merritt, to you tonight. As vice principal of OHS and as a teacher, we see students come into our building in grade 9, fresh-faced, nervous, and they leave as young adults and the world ahead of them. That is what we would consider significant change. I've seen this occur before my eyes as an administrator at OHS, and this is the change that we all experience, and it's the foundation of who we are today. Sometimes, however, that change doesn't go as planned, and this is where I met Tyler for the first time, in my office. Tyler began his high school career in the fall of '08, a year of challenges for anyone who enters a big school. Tyler, as most students I'm sure, was nervous and wowed by all the freedoms that are all of a sudden granted to kids. Totally different from middle school. Those freedoms can sometimes overshadow school. And Tyler's career started off pretty much without incident. Grade 9 was finished. He did okay. His attendance wasn't bad. And then all of a sudden I became vice principal in September 2009. Tyler's grade 10 year started to go a little bit awry. Started struggling with courses and attendance. Those things became a daily routine. Missing a fair amount of time, truancy was beginning to be a problem. There were some other issues that we had to deal with, and this 2009-2010 school year wasn't exactly the best year. He was declining in attendance, sometimes behavior, and as an administrator, I wanted to see him succeed, but at times had no choice but to issue the consequences, and Mom and I have had more than a few phone calls on the phone. Grade 11 came and went pretty quickly. Tyler was in my office quite a bit. Calls home, commitments from him to improve. We'd monitor his attendance. We were winning a little bit on the battle of the attendance front, but we were losing on the academic front. It was still significant, mind you, his attendance problems, but far better than the previous year. And academically, he was dealing with probably what was going to be his worst result. The year saw some fairly significant academic issues. And then on May 26th, 2011, Tyler walked through my office door just 2 weeks before exams, and unfortunately, I had no choice but to issue a suspension. Tyler seemed to be losing the battle, attending school and doing well academically. But something changed, because May 26, 2011 was the very last time that he walked through my door. 2011 and 12 was indeed interesting. Interesting in that Tyler and I never met. That's not to say I wasn't following his progress or seeing him in the hall, but he was making the choices to keep himself in the classroom and out of the office. Even more than that, he was beginning to excel. Like he said in his bio, a light bulb had gone off. Attendance was improving dramatically, grades were climbing, his teachers were submitting positive remarks. It was clear a change had come, his average had gone above 70, all his courses were successful, and clearly he was coming into his own. This year, school year, even better. Virtual perfect attendance for this school year. All that's been on his record, just a few tardies and a couple of regular absences. I don't think that Tyler's ever going to chase that class bell to make sure he's totally on time, but he's made an amazing change for the positive. I think it's key to understand that not one of us has made that change. He has. Tyler did this on his own. It's something he can own and be proud of. And currently he has an average over 80%, and the year's not even done yet. Often I see students sometimes in a setting that can be a bit awkward, so I have to deal with issues of consequences. I'm not going to stand here and say that Tyler and I saw eye to eye on everything. That's definitely not the truth. But when it came time to look at the turnaround nominations for this year, I didn't hesitate for a second to nominate him. Of all the students I have worked with and had in my office or otherwise met in the last 4 years as vice principal, Tyler's name came quickly to me to define turnaround achievement. So to Tyler's parents, you have a very special son who's looking towards a very bright future after his time at MBCC. Congratulations to you on a son well raised. And to Tyler, you're looking at a great future. You're modest, but you obviously take great pride in your accomplishments. I'm proud to have had the privilege to nominate you. Congratulations.
I'm pretty nervous, I'm not going to lie, but I've prepared a speech. I'd like to thanks Kingswood for throwing this event tonight. And I have to say how honored I am to have won this award. It's such a special moment in my life that I've worked pretty hard for in the last couple of years, especially coming from getting put on probation, not showing up to class, and suspension. I'd like to say a special thanks to the ones that helped me get here today. Mr. Holder, he's given me plenty of chances, and I'd like to thank him for nominating me for this award. I realized we had a rough patch and many visits to your office, but those days are over for me, and I appreciate it. Thank you. I'd like to thank my English teacher, Miss Pugh, who I had back in grade 10, one of the first times around. I'd like to thank you so much. I remember you telling me in grade 10 English the third time around when I walked in your class that the first time she thought I was going to eat her head off. And a couple years later, she had me working my butt off in her class, and she helped push me through grade 11 English and pass me the course. And she was always a great help to me. I'd like to also thank all my previous teachers and the ones who helped me through school when I was struggling back in my rebellious years. I realized I couldn't be jigging all the time anymore and not attending class if I wanted to graduate. It definitely gave me a boost when Miss White, my guidance counselor, told me, she was my guidance counselor who was also a great help to me and told me I was only a year behind. And my biggest influence would be Haley Smith, my best friend. She was the biggest key to my success. She was always there putting up with my stubbornness and pushing me for bigger and better, no matter what. Helped me with projects even though I was doing a completely different grade. Having her there, knowing she cared and always helping me through anything no matter what brought so much confidence, knowing someone cared that much for me. She gave her 100% to turn me around, and that's for sure. And also, thanks so much for everything, and you even still do today. Also, a very special thanks to my mom and dad, always making me do my homework and help me with my projects, forcing me to get my education, not letting me stay home, being there for me since day one and still haven't given up on me. I'd just like to mention that after this year of high school, I'm going to NBCC Woodstock to further my career in welding and hope more doors open after I get my diploma. So once again, everybody, thanks for nominating me and believing in me, and I couldn't have done it without y'all.
Alrighty, good evening, everyone. I've been out there with Tyler. It's a long wait, and I finally learned what the Harlem Shake is and that Cy has a new song. So we're set, and he's educated me for tonight. So when one thinks of middle school, we think of the word change. And change for most of us is tough. And this was no exception for Tyler when he came to our school. Prior to arriving at our school, come on, it's okay, we won't bite. Prior to arriving at our school, Tyler was really struggling in elementary school. He was reluctant to take responsibility for his mistakes, making excuses and blaming others. This led to a social isolation and a sense of sadness and a desperation on his part. When Tyler came to our school 3 years ago, he brought his baggage with him. He was struggling with most aspects of life, and at school he was having difficulty with social relationships, academics, and fitting into middle school. During grade 6, Tyler attended school no more than 2 days a week. His mom and the school were in contact frequently and had numerous interventions. Yet, Tyler continued to avoid coming to school. He felt no connections with peers or with staff, and when he did come, he was in daily conflict with peers and teachers, often verbalizing his frustrations and anger, and with some of his choice words and closed fist. His academics reflected his lack of involvement, and it was very difficult to get a read on what his true abilities were. Generally, Tyler was a very unhappy boy. However, along comes grade 7, and Tyler began to be more invested in his academics and his education. He started allowing school staff to make connections. His peers were becoming part of his daily routine. He began having lunch with a small group of peers, talking, playing games, and developing friendships. Situations that often frustrated Tyler in grade 6 were not bothering him in the same manner. He was able to handle himself, walk away when upset, gaining the skills to manage his daily life at school. Tyler finally began attending school on a more frequent basis. His academics reflect his ability rather than his deficits. And slowly he began showing more positive attitude, and at the end of grade 7, he even participated in wrestling at OHS, an activity that many would have identified as impossible at the start of the school year. Currently, Tyler has exemplary attendance and is part of a social network of the school staff and peers. His report card is a thing of pride now, not shame. He is even attending extracurricular activities, including the planned grade 8 trip to Halifax shortly. In Tyler's early years of middle school, he was often confrontational with teachers. Today, he walks the hallways with a smile on his face, initiating hellos and being happy to be at school. It's been a pleasure, Tyler, to see you grow into who you are today, accepting your quirks and your qualities. You're more comfortable with who you are as an individual, and this is not an easy thing to do, and Tyler, we as teachers are very proud of you. I'd also like to take the time and let people know that Tyler couldn't have done this without his mother, Paige, and his grandparents' support. Paige has been a dedicated mother who always put her son's needs first and continually sought the support to help her son. Tyler's involvement with his family has moved into helping his younger brother prepare for middle school, and he has become a supportive big brother. Tyler has found his place both within his family and within our school family. Tyler, you're about to experience change again, but this time you have a different type of baggage. You have a toolbox that you have filled with tools to be successful with change. We look forward to seeing your continued success in high school and beyond, and wish you all the best at OHS.
What a pleasure to be able to introduce to you Terrell Francis. Terrell has overcome significant personal and educational hardships. He had a tough start. Terrell moved to a new community, entered a new school, and had to cope with a condition that made learning difficult. As a result of that, his behavior was a bit hard to manage, when Terrell first arrived at our school, he was what we call a regular customer at the office. We kept his parents' phone number close to the phone and used it frequently. I remember looking at Terrell one day in the cafeteria and just watching as they were having lunch and thinking, boy, if something doesn't happen, if the change doesn't happen, that guy isn't going to last until Christmas time. Well, a change did happen. Terrell made a turnaround during the past 3 years at our school. It was slow but steady progress. He's developed into a fine young man who's a pleasure to work with and is meeting with success in his classes. He's well liked by students and staff, has a lot of potential. Terrell will be entering high school in September. And I should say, just before coming into the ceremony, we met Terrell and his family outside in the lobby, and they told me that they're celebrating Terrell's turnaround award tonight, but they're also celebrating today the end of a long and difficult adoption process, and Terrell, they are now Terrell's official parents as of today.
Wow.
When we asked our staff for suggestions for a middle school student that would be deserving of the turnaround award, several, 3 or 4 staff members at the same time said Terrell Francis. So Terrell, I'm very happy to be able to present this award to you. Congratulations, well deserved, and keep it going.
Terrell's parents, please stand and be recognized.
I like to thank my mom and dad, Mr. Cameron and Miss Duguay, because I wouldn't be here without Miss Duguay. And yeah, thank you.
I am honored and proud to be introducing Vance Foreman this evening as he receives his Turnaround Award. Vance has attended Stanley School since grade 6, and he will graduate this year in June. When Vance started middle school 7 short years ago, he appeared to be a small, shy boy anxious to make friends. He continued through middle school as an average student who attracted little attention. He was shy, quiet, reserved, and awkward. One day, much to the shock and surprise of staff and students, Vance appeared on stage, performing in front of the whole school. He started to become very involved in sports, and he was slowly coming out of his shell. And his grades were improving as well. His representation as a student and athlete has flourished, and he is exemplifying his leadership skills and abilities among his peers, both within the classroom and on the court and field. Vance is now a caring, compassionate, helpful, respectful young man who genuinely seems to enjoy learning in school. He is an astute observer who is able to analyze situations and make accurate assessments of his observations in a mature manner. This is one of the many reasons why it is a joy to teach Vance and to have him in the classroom, where he is a positive contributor to the learning environment. However, in contrast to all the positive attributes and qualities the staff and students were seeing on the surface, Vance had undergone a serious period of depression, which led to a critical point and decision in his life. No one knew Vance was facing this darkness, and thankfully Vance made some tough decisions that leaves him here today. Vance is currently helping with the middle school boys volleyball team, where the boys look up to him and see him as a role model. He is now helping boys that are just like he was when he was in middle school. But with his direction, they are in good hands and they're on the right path to success. Vance has shown the staff and students of Stanley Middle and High School how perseverance, determination, strength, and strong willpower can pay off. In the words of one of my favorite authors, Dr. Seuss, congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. Vance, you're an excellent example for all of us, and Stanley High School is very proud to have you as one of our own.
Wow, I get to close the show. There's tons of people to thank. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today without the people around me. My mother and father back there, Vance and Roxanne Foreman, table 19. Two of my best friends in the world right beside them, Luke Hawks and David Flynn.
Stand.
Please stand. All the staff at Stanley, I mean, they've embraced me with open arms. I mean, I came out of my shell and they were just waiting there. I mean, they let me be who I truly am. And I went through a period of darkness in my life, and everyone goes through their own trials and tribulations. We all face our own demons, and we all rise above them. Everyone here tonight has done that. Congratulations, everyone that's honored here tonight. Thank you.
So now an important part of tonight is our scholarship program. And besides our special awards, each grade 12 student continuing their education will receive a $1,000 scholarship from Kingswood. Yes, absolutely. And this year, for the first time, we were part of the Sun Life Financial Chair campaign, and this event generated $3,000 for the Turnaround Achievement Award Scholarship Program. And this year's event, if you're interested, will be held on June the 12th at Kingswood Lodge, and you can check your program for details on that. Now for our individual scholarships. The first is the New Brunswick Society of Retired Teachers Central Branch. It's a $500 scholarship presented by President Ann Gorman. And as you're making your way up to the stage, I will tell everyone that the deserving individual is, and we've met her, Felicia, yes, Mugford. I think I got it right this time, Felicia Mugford of Leo Hayes High School. The Pepsi Scholarship is valued at $1,000, and it will be presented tonight by Sarah Lightbody. The winner is Brooke Lynn of Chipman Forest Avenue School. And as we heard, Brooke Lynn will be attending Medi College enrolled in business management. Thank you. The St. Thomas University's $2,000 scholarship will be presented by Michelle Monahan, and it goes to Vance Foreman of Stanley High School. The NBCC scholarship presented by Heather Hathaway, the principal of NBCC, and Cynthia Shepard, Donor Development and Fundraising, NBCC, if the both of you could make your way forward. One of the $1,000 scholarships will go to Dana Fields of Oromocto High School, attending the nursing program at NBCC. And the other $1,000 will go to Michael Merritt of Oromocto High School, who's entering the welding program at NBCC Woodstock.
Cindy wasn't able to stay for the entire event, so Michael, I'm pleased to present yours as well. Congratulations.
The University of New Brunswick's $5,000 scholarship presented by John Richard goes to Kirsten Merrill of Fredericton High School, enrolled in the Bachelor of Science. The next scholarship is very special. It's referred to as the Nick Plimmer Scholarship. It's valued at $2,000, and it will be presented tonight by Janice Plimmer. This scholarship is presented annually in Nick's memory. Nick worked very hard with at-risk students in Districts 17 and 18. Now, this program was very dear to his heart, and tonight we're privileged to have Nick's wife, Janice, present this scholarship. And this scholarship is going to Dylan Foss of Fredericton High School, enrolling in the trades program in the fall. This concludes our scholarship presentations. In total this evening, students received $24,500. That's remarkable. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Now, we would also like to thank the following institutions that are a part of the program, although no students were attending their institutions. Those would be Eastern College, Atlantic Business College, and Crandall University. Also, this program could not continue without the support of Brian Johnson. So on behalf of everyone here tonight, I want to thank you very much. I also want to mention, and we weren't going to mention it, but I am going to mention it. There is a gentleman, I believe he's here. We just want to say that this whole program, as you saw in the video, Brian had seen it offered in the United States, brought it here, introduced it as a pilot, and it was very successful. Well, the success of this program is just spreading like wildfire. So we're pleased to announce that perhaps this program will be offered in Halifax, or at least in somewhere in Nova Scotia next year. I think if anyone gets wind of this, and I'm sure you will all attest to the success of this evening, the students and all of the support that surrounds them, we just want this to be in every community, in every province, right across Canada. So thank you for supporting it the way you do. And offer your words of encouragement and congratulate them on their achievements. And let them hear now, by your round of applause, how much you think they deserve the success that they have attributed themselves.